Peace, Kens. Next victim of chip shortage will be your home internet router. Peep the slang, yo. Broadband providers are seeing delays of more than a year when ordering internet routers, becoming yet another victim of chip shortages, choking global supply chains and adding challenges for millions still working from home. Peep the slang. Carriers have been quoted order times as long as 60 weeks, more than doubling previous waits, according to people familiar with the matter who asked not to be named because the discussions are private. Sharp coronavirus manufacturing shutdowns a year ago were exacerbated by a prolonged surge in demand for better home broadband equipment, said Karsten Jawecki, head of European regional business for Zexcel Communications Corp, a Taiwan-based router maker. Since January, it asks customers to order products a year in advance. He said because the lead time for components like chips for Broadcom INC doubled to a year or more since then. Peep the slang, yo. Zexcel is a major suppliers of routers with customers including Norway, Telenor, ASA, and Britain's Zen Internet. Adtran, a U.S. network equipment maker picking up market share from China's Huawei Technologies Co. in Europe, has also warned customers of supply chain risks and lead time extensions in recent months. It expands its warehouse facilities in the UK, more than doubling its inventory and logistics capacity to avoid problems, a spokesman said by email. No carrier has run out of routers completely yet, but the supply chain looks strained for the next 6 months. So it's possible, according to Jawecki. We have been very close several times, he said in a video call. It could still happen. Even shipments already en route can't escape global trade ructions. Last week, Zexcel routers were on and behind the Evergreen ship, which blocked the Suez Canal, according to Jawecki. Broadcom did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Some 90% of its 2020 supply has already been ordered, CEO Hock Tan said last month. Still waiting, Zexcel problems started more than a year ago when manufacturing in its Wuxi, China factory shut down for a month due to COVID-19. Since its reopened, supplies have been spotty and shipping costs have spiked as much as 10 times their previous levels as exports race to catch up, even vying for space with outbound medical and personal protective equipment. Peep the slang, yo. Since Chinese factories restarted, chipsets have become a global bottleneck, choked by shortages of parts like silicone, wafers, as well as supply-demand mismatches. Components for other systems like memory and power management are also affected, Jawecki said. It's a snowball effect that we're pushing in front of us, and the situation since then has just become worse and worse, and even worse, said Jawecki. When I talk to some of the chipset vendors, some of them tell me that they have something like overbooking of 300% of their capacity. Keep the slang, yo. With semiconductor foundries struggling to allocate scarce capacity, less profitable works get pushed to the back of the line. Routers command lower margins than smartphones and computers, and then within the world of routers, those destined for less affluent markets like Eastern Europe use less sophisticated, lower margin parts. In a similar vein, smaller telecom operators have been worse hit, while global enterprises have glint supplies with their buying power. Some carriers have stockpiled to avoid shortfalls, and some were further insulated by ordering months worth of equipment ahead of potential Brexit trade disruptions. Man, keep the same. It's one of them long ones.